Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen around the world, wherever you are, welcome to League of Tilt, where today we are going berserk in the jungle. This is not necessarily the best game in the world for Olaf Jungle, but it's also not necessarily the worst game in the world for Olaf Jungle. Ramus, his taunt isn't great against Olaf, like it's fine. But it's not as devastating as it is against something like a Master Yi, because Olaf does want to almost stand still and auto attack, and Ramus taunting him just sort of adds to that. Obviously, auto attacking and Ramus is not ideal, but Olaf gets a massive amount of lifesteal off of his W just for activating it. What are you doing? I think she's going to be fine. We're going to walk away here. We're just going to start here. Whenever I see one of these random ass invades happening, I take the high road. I don't want any of it. I don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk dying. I don't want to risk losing a buff. I'm just going to head over here. As Olaf, you really do need to make sure that you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's. You can't just like sit still and steady and not do anything and expect the game to go your way. You have massive amount of skirmishing early game power. You're not as good in team fights because it's hard for you to run at people. That's why we're going Ghost. Olaf does a lot more damage than people give him credit for. Like, I think a lot of people have a tendency to sort of think of Olaf as sort of not a scaling champion, but I assure you he has more than enough scaling to deal all the damage necessary to carry fights. It's less about him not dealing damage in the late game and more about just it being harder to find priority carries, stick on top of the right people in the late game. That's what's hard. Your Q is an axe that you throw. It deals damage and slows. It's a very, very powerful tool for clearing the jungle quickly and effectively, because every time you pick it up, it reduces the cooldown. As you can see, it has a 7-second cooldown, but then I'm going to go and pick it up, and now it's up again. So you can use your Q very effectively to clear camps like the Raptors. I didn't really optimize my clear there. If you do, you can cross over at 230. Olaf is one of the fastest jungle clears in the game, alongside Mundo and Shyvana, but of them, Mundo and Olaf have the healthier clears of the two. I did consider going Mundo as well this game, but I, on balance, ended up deciding to go Olaf instead, because I wanted to be able to continually run at people without having to worry about any CC whatsoever. They don't have, pardon me, just a small amount of CC. They have a significant amount of CC on the enemy team between the Veigar. I know that I'm pathing sort of the other side compared to the enemy jungler has done. Okay. Let's ghost at him, take his flash. This is another reason. Perfect. There's another reason that I really like taking Ghost on Olaf, because you just want to run at people, so the faster you are, the harder it is for them to react to you. And when you score a takedown, you can just keep going. So you can get in, get a kill, walk away, or you can just keep chasing as you desire. And obviously, once you're running, because of your early game power, people have no choice but to run away from you, meaning that you'll often end up blowing flash for Ghost, and that's always an extremely worthwhile trade, because your Ghost is on a much shorter cooldown than your flash. We are going lethal tempo. Olaf likes to auto attack a lot, so we're going to make the most of that to make sure that our auto attacks continue to scale up. Again, lethal tempo is one of the reasons we're going to be scaling well into the game. You do scale very, very, very well if you on lethal tempo, because it's a rune that gets much better the later it goes into the game. Olaf really loves the attack speed, because his W already gives him a large amount of attack speed, and then the lower he gets on HP, the more attack speed he has. And we also get some amount of attack speed from our runes, so you don't really need to build attack speed items on Olaf. Every single rune that's available. Oh, I don't know how that happened. Oh my god, that's so clutch. Renekton almost died there to the Teemo, but he not only did he get the dive off, but then the success of the dive allowed him the level up he needed in order to survive with his ulti. So Rammus did end up ganking mid lane again. We are ahead of him in tempo because we have backed and he has not. He has cleared his topside Scuttle Crab. We know that because we can see the marker here spawning again for the Scuttle Crab. This third Scuttle Crab of the game doesn't spawn until the first two have been killed, so that's how we know that he's taking first. Unfortunately, one of the things about Olaf is that he does not have a way to get the shield off of the crab, so that's a little unfortunate, but it's alright. We'll have both of our smite charges up. We'll just walk up and smite a thing. Brand doesn't really have flash, so it should not be very easy for them to do this. I'm just gonna grab this dragon. This is one of the strengths of Olaf. He's very, very, very good at taking dragons by himself, thanks to the repeated damage from his undertow. And just activating W and auto-attacking to death. Olaf can actually just do this at level 4 without items. But then it's a little slower and it's a little riskier because if you get caught out, then it's rougher. But once you have a little bit of AD under your belt, you just get so much lifesteal back from your W. Your W is absolutely broken. People just sort of stand there and let you auto-attack them. We haven't really been hyper-active on the map. Bot lane hasn't really been gankable. It's an Ezreal Brand. Brand can walk away very hard. So we know that Brand's flash isn't up for another minute or so. Oh, there's a Rammus here. But they see that Rammus and my misfortune is backing, so there shouldn't be a problem here. They should be able to back that on out. Okay, excellent. Rammus being on the bot side, clearing his bot side jungle. And see, this is what I meant. See, I was ahead because he had to recoil, grab items, and when do you take my raptors? My chickens! My chickies! You mean little ducky. It's alright though. It'll be okay. We have such a strong lead in the farm department because we are farming exceptionally quickly. Rift Herald's not up for another 20 seconds, but as soon as it is up, we will head over and grab it. The next Scuttle Crab is also spawning bot side, so Rammus will probably try to make a play on that. If I was the Rammus, I would be looking to gank the Renekton right about now. So he should be careful. I should let him know that there's a Rammus he can expect to have come his way. I'm gonna stick around here, and in case the Rammus decides to show up, I will go ahead and bonk him because I'm definitely much stronger than the Rammus right now in a 1v1. Rammus's numbers are just a little low anyways, and Olaf's numbers are like they're never low enough to be relevant. We see that Rammus again bot side, so this is free. The Rammus has done a very bad job of doing objective control, and again, we're not doing anything fancy, right? We're just checking to see what lanes we can go to. If somebody's pushed up, we're punishing them for it. We're taking advantage of our ability to out-farm the Rammus. We are sticking around the lane where the Rammus could go, just to make sure that he can't. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to take this. If Teemo comes, we will kill him because our ulti can make it so that we run at him very fast and he just dies. We're going to grab this, and then, yeah. This punishes the Rammus very, very heavily. Always do this as a jungler. You're trying to... So the objective of League is to eventually take their Nexus. In order to take their Nexus, you have to push their towers. In order to push their towers, you need to have... you need to get kills on them. You need to be stronger than them. But you don't... getting kills on them is the only way to do it. You can also just make it so that when you're in a particular location, they can't be there for the threat of killing them. So... you can do that by being fed. If you're strong, if you're hyper strong, then they won't dare be near you. And then that gives you zone control. So looks like the Teemo was sticking around here, so we'll just that. This is not a good time to go topside. The lane is fairly pushed in. No, Renekton was low. He decided to come down for some honey fruit. If I was the Malzahar, I would be careful. This is the only place where Rammus can gank right now. Timo, oh, yeah, there we are, but he can't really do anything by himself. I'm sure Malzahar will be alright. He's a couple levels up on the Timo, and he has ulti. He can just suppress the Ramos if the Ramos goes for anything too crazy. Ramos is going for bot side crab. Can he get it? He'll probably get it. We don't care about that. We'll let them take it. We can't contest because our bot lane is only half present, right? We don't have our support there, so we need to be careful. I am worried about this dive. There we are. Yeah, I could have been there. I could have prevented that dive, but I also didn't feel like fighting a 2v3 there. I wasn't there. It's just, if you're the misfortune there, you have to watch the minimap, realize the Ramos has gone down, realize that your support is not there, that you can't be taking that fight. Without realizing things like that, you can definitely expect to die. I'm not going to go for the... Man, I want to go for this, but I know that there's no point because Ezreal, he's just going to walk on out of there. I'm going to sell the spot. We don't need the spot. I'm going to grab the control ward and then start working our way down bot side again. Drake's coming up. Even if we lose this Cloud Drake, I don't really mind too much. So my plan is to come up, take my Krugs, help the Renekton pressure. Obviously, I'm going to grab these Krugs because on the way, because you always just want to make sure that you're doing everything that you need to do. You never just want to be like, oh, I'm just doing this one thing. Oh, I'm just chasing for kills. Oh, I'm just farming because I can farm quickly. Just do your chores, man. You know, you got to win. You got to be ahead in order to just have zone control and objective control. You need to make sure that you are keeping up in farm, but also that you're being in the right place at the right time. Like, nobody cares if you're up in farm. Ghost for flash. Excellent trade. We don't really mind. Yeah. You can blind me, but mate, blinding me doesn't really do anything. God damn it. I can't really fight. I can't really fight against this Timo because he has a blind. If Renekton is feeling himself, then he can, I guess, go for a dive. Olaf told you go bot, but I was top though. Ramos is staying. Yeah, he is. It's almost like you should know that and play weak side because your jungle is not there. You can't just be mad. You can't just be like, oh, but the game's about me. You need to be here. It's like, okay, so it's possible that I need to be there. Whether or not I should or should not be there is something that's up for debate. I think helping to put the Renekton ahead, giving up that dragon is fine in favor of getting all of these turret plates. But regardless, right? Regardless of if it's the correct play or not, you can't walk up and be there. Yeah. I'm gonna walk away. I ulted there because I didn't want to get stunned, as long as I wasn't going to get... I already avoided the Brand stun, so it's just the Veigar cage. I knew that I could just walk through the Veigar cage and absolutely blast the living daylights out of all of them. It wasn't really a question, because I have more than enough damage to absolutely massacre the Brand. So they can't be walking up to me like that. Like, obviously I have to respect their damage as well. I can't just do whatever I want. One of the reasons I'm a little low level this game, I'm a little under leveled, unfortunately, because I have not been leeching minion EXP. It's the sad state of the jungle right now, that unless you leech a significant amount of minion EXP, you don't, like, unless you leech a significant amount of minion EXP, you don't end up getting ahead on experience, because you get such diminishing returns on just taking jungle camps. Our ulti is already on a very short cooldown. Gold Drinker giving ability haste is very good. Our next item is either going to be a Deadman's or a Sterak's. Sterak's if we need more survivability, Deadman's if we don't really care about survivability, we just want to kill some people. Like, okay, no, sorry, Deadman's will get survivability, not as much as a Sterak's. A Sterak's ensures that you can't get bursted down. Deadman's is more about just exerting a lot more pressure on people, running at them, discharging discharging those stacks. What the hell? It looks like it's been so long that people have really forgotten what Misfortune and Zyra are capable of accomplishing together, huh? Oh well, that's good for us. We're gonna grab this. Objective bounties are an excellent addition to the game. They really make sure that the team that's getting ahead gets punished for not doing their chores, for not making sure that they're getting the objectives. Because if the enemy team gets this Rift Herald, they're not just going to get the Herald, they're going to get 500 bonus gold for it. Because all our towers and Heralds and Dragons and all such, I don't know why I control worded there. I wasn't planning to control what, I think I just ended up. Yeah, we're just gonna go. Lethal tempo. Oh, okay. Got it. They all flashed. Didn't matter. If Rammus was going to flash, he definitely should have flashed her. I don't mind giving Malzahar this blubber buff. I wish he'd let me have it, but I don't mind letting him have it because I'm taking my blue buffs. The least I can do is give him his blue buffs. We're going to take this turret here. So it was a good rotation on the part of the Malzahar. But really, it was just... Renekton was feeling himself, he was going to die there. The blind is very, very, very powerful against him. He's an auto attack based champion. Renekton's auto attacks do a large amount of damage, and Renekton's stun does comes to an auto attack. Malzahar's dead here. There's no point in me staying. I'm just gonna int if I stay there. Like, even if we kill them both there, that doesn't do anything yet. He knows it's bad. He has no reason to be stepping up that far as squishy. My ulti's about to be back up. I can run at bot lane again here. Our Misfortune is very strong ever since those skills, and Zyra has Leandra, so she's basically full build. We're just gonna look at them here. What the hell? That's real. I didn't think I even needed to ulti there. I just wanted to make absolutely sure. Ulti gives us a burst of bonus movement speed. You cannot be walking up there, my friend. You really cannot be. You wanna fight, you're welcome to fight in Misfortune ulti. My E deals true damage. Rammus, I'm sure he was feeling very tanky, but I still had Gore Drinker. I could have healed that up very easily. And my W was about to be back up as well, so there was no chance he was going to kill me there. And my E is true damage, so he was like, oh, but I have my W. They give me resistances. I can use these resistances to survive against this Olaf. Like, no, you can't. So again, just a good pick this game, just because as you can see, the play pattern is very simple. They have a limited amount of CC. These mages, these squishy mages, are going to want to throw at us. And if we can just make sure, you know what, we don't want to get hit by that CC, just press our R button, run at them, and kill them. It's going to get much harder as the game goes on to do that, so we do have to make sure that we're continuously pushing our advantage. Because of course, as the game goes on, these mages will be dealing a lot more damage, so even if I'm walking at them in my ulti, I'm not taking as much damage. It's still going to be, so I'm going to grab this Black Cleaver, because it's giving me a lot more, it's going to give me a lot more movement speed. I'm also ahead, so I don't particularly care about the resistances, although I do have a good amount of resistances thanks to the passive on my Ragnarok. As you can see, Olaf, but he loses these resistances, by the way, when you are in your unstoppable form, because then the idea is you don't really care if you live or die, you just want to kill people. So you are giving up those resistances in order to gain bonus AD. When you ulti, it doesn't only make you unstoppable, it gives you a limited amount of movement speed towards enemy champions. Oh, so close. I can feel his pain there, to be honest. Is there any point in me running at the entire enemy team there? I don't think so. I'm just kidding. They really shouldn't have tried to walk at me there. Like, they were like, oh, wait, we can kill this Olaf. You can't kill this Olaf. Because I have Gore Drinker. Like, I could have pressed Gore Drinker on them and healed up. Like, even though they ignited me, I'm just too fast. I missed my first axe, which made it harder than it needed to be. I think if I hadn't missed my first axe, it would be much easier. I really, really like Black Cleaver because it just makes it so easy to catch up to people. You gain bonus movement speed. For hitting people, for dealing physical damage to people, and you also reduce their armor, so you increase the amount of damage you do. I'm just going to recall here. It's too far to walk to anything that I want to get to. Malzahar is going to take my blue buff. He can also take my Gromp if he wants to. I'm going to head on over top side. As you can see, we're actually starting to take a decent amount of damage, so we're going to start grabbing resistances here. We're not really getting bursted down. We can use our ulti to walk away if we ever get CC'd, but we really shouldn't be in a position where we're sort of accidentally getting CC'd. When Nick needs to walk away here, he's going to take a large amount of damage. He's not me, so by that I don't mean that he's not super fed. I simply mean he can't just be immune to CC. Also, they can't just be running on our team like that. Like, it's been a hot minute since Zyra and Misfortune have been a thing together, but I think people have really forgotten how to play into teams with powerful ultimates like that. Ooh, missed my axe. That's unfortunate. It's alright though. I keep trying to hit the Veigar, but I think maybe I should just go for the Ezreal. Because Ezreal... What?! The moment Ezreal dashes forward there, I just know I can go for that. Because as soon as Ezreal dashes forward, he's asking to be killed. He's asking for it. He's dying for it. Alright, there we go. Misfortune could have taken bot turret because she should have taken bot turret as well. Goodbye. What? I let you walk away. I let you walk away from that. You just decided to go right back on in. Alright, mate. Sure. Okay. We can push in this top side. Olaf is not the best at taking turrets, but he is very good at taking minion waves. So there is that. Oh, threw my axe into another dimension. It seems. Gonna recall and head over to Dragon. I should have actually headed over slightly earlier, but I just needed a little bit more gold for my Force of Nature. Okay, I now have this Force of Nature. I will be taking a lot less damage from the consistent DPS of Brand, Teemo, Veigar. Force of Nature is an absolutely fantastic item when you're against these dot comps, because it gives you stacking magic resist. Bloody hell. What? Yeah, sure. Hey, I ulted for that. I ghosted for that. It's alright. It's alright. They don't have a choice. They have to run away here. Veigar should be dead here. We should go to Baron. Does team not care? No? Team just wants to push? Sure, that's fine. We'll push. This hasn't, like, yes, I've fought people and I've absolutely massacred them, but that's not what this game has been about. Like, this game has been all about using our early game pressure to just appear in a couple of places where we needed to be, and most of all just to use our objective taking ability to take objectives, not necessarily to sneak in objectives. You should be dead. Yeah, dead. I could have obviously gone for the... Mate, I just want to take this Baron, huh? Okay. Misfortune has the same idea. Thank Lord. It's just been knowing when our power spikes are, like what the enemy power spikes are, knowing not to overreach. Like, I haven't just been like, oh, me Olaf, Mistong. gotta give them hope. There was, like, I only did that because they surrendered. Like, if they hadn't surrendered, I would have just walked away. Although I seriously think no kappa. Like, if I actually land my X there, I do kill him no matter what. So it's completely fine. But yeah, they surrendered. So it's just like, all right, I'm gonna finally actually run it down. This is just a very well played game from all parties. Malzahar rotating was very, very nice. Renekton won lane against Teemo, so I'm actually going to honor him with the tilt proof because he was laning against a Teemo as an 80 auto attack based champion and he didn't just blow a gasket, and that's just very impressive. Good job, Renekton. We're very proud of you. I didn't do as much damage as it might have looked like I was doing because I wasn't really the primary threat in fights. Took a lot of damage. I was the front of most damage to objectives. This was my real contribution to the game. Lethal tempo was up for a while, but again, because I wasn't really fighting as many people, this one was definitely in the thick of things. Look at how much Triumph did, which he ended up not being low super much. So last stand was absolutely fantastic. Approach velocity is broken on Olaf because you're access low people, so you're just constantly moving around very high movement speed all the time. So yeah, overall, just a very controlled, calm, calculated Olaf game. Could have made my presence felt more, could have ganked more, but this game I just was where I wanted to win fights, and I made sure that I was keeping significantly ahead of the enemy jungler to the point where even if he was showing up more often in a couple of places, I was getting more done. And when I did show up, we got more out of it because my champion is more powerful in the early stages of the game. So just using that early game power to pressure a couple of lanes around the place we're going to get objectives, translating that pressure into objectives, translating objectives into turret pushes with the team, zoning when we need to, front laning when we need to, and just running in and killing people when we want to. But yeah, overall, you can see, by the way, that this game could have gone badly if it had continued. You can see if we weren't so far ahead, you can sort of you can get a look for how it might have gone in the last fight. Like, I got kited by the Ezreal. Leave aside the fact like he played well and I didn't play well. Just in the late game, if we're both playing well, I shouldn't actually be able to hit him. He should be able to dodge my axes. He should be able to dodge my abilities, and he should be able to constantly kite me out of range and keep throwing mystic shots. And then the Brand and the Veigar should have enough zone control to kill our squishies. That ended up not happening. They just walked into chokes, and Misfortune and Zyra just like messed them up because these guys just apparently don't know what Misfortune and Zyra all do. But if they hadn't done that and the game had dragged on longer, we were starting to see near the end there how maybe the fight could have gone differently when we were all grouped up. But our run at them composition and our pick composition with the Malzahar, with Olaf running at them, ended up doing very well for the early to mid game, and we ended up closing it out with the Baron, and they just had enough. They surrendered. So there you have it. Just a very meticulous game. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned from it. See you next time. Have a lovely day.